And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Idea PC, joined by Rude Dude for game number three's draft here between Omega Gaming Ice and Akuma Scimitars for the Upsurge Minor League lower bracket playoffs. Rude Dude, welcome back. And we had a banger of game one and game two, and we're getting ready for game number three here as the bands are starting to roll on through.
Yep, you're exactly right, idea. Both of these sides have shown what they're made of, shown that they can take these early game comps, draft them, and execute on them really well. We've got a nice adaptation here for Akuma. They've not allowed this Ash to be picked first from Omega Game. We've seen it in both games, and we've seen it really do great things in the game. So neither of the AD carries going to get their hands on it this time. We'll have to wait and see what the priority pick becomes for Omega Gaming, because this might drop them off of ADC first pick in general, unless they feel like Ezreal, for example, is something that is up there, but we haven't even seen Ezreal picked up. It is going to be the Graves for Supermark, going back to that pick that he had in game number 2. Didn't look as strong on it as he would have done if he'd have been able to succeed with it, obviously, but he's going to try and run it back, do greater things this time, and have a bit more impact than he did in game number 2.
Yep, absolutely. Looking for something to kind of get rolling through here. And Akuma Scimitars hovering the Rek'Sai now. Could get the mirror matchup in the jungle. It's going to be interesting to see if that does get locked in. Yes, it does. Akuma Scimitars picking that one up now in this draft. And, they said, well, we were able to get some early plays on the Rek'Sai. Why not run it back? And that is exactly what they have done here. Karma also going to be picked up here as a possible mid support or top flex for the side of Akuma Scimitars. So not giving any secrets away here very early on. I do expect them to pick up an 80 carry in the first half of this draft, which will leave them with the counter pick available for their solo lanes. And the Varus actually getting the hover here from Waffle Wheel. Back when Varus was very, very strong in 10-13 and 10-12, we did see him play this champion quite a bit. It does get locked in, so not deterred by the piercing arrow nerfs, will get to see Waffle Wheel on a champion that he has had success on in the past. It does provide them some pick potential in the bot lane, which I think, just overall, Omega Gaming Ice does like to play off of some strong bot lane and support duo. So good to see that they are picking themselves a 80 carry that can kind of take the advantage in these matchups and start fights all on his own. Nautilus, I think, is a great pairing as well with this, is going to lock in and will be rounding out this bottom lane.
Yeah, and that is going to actually make a really strong duo on the bot
Oh,
side. Varus,
no,
no.
actually, the Nautilus did get changed. So in the client draft there, we have just been notified that Omega Gaming Ice, they have picked the Lulu, not the Nautilus.
Yeah, and then we are just extending to Akuma here that if they want to change Sivir based off of that pick, then they are allowed to, because obviously the Sivir pick came through pretty quickly. But it looks like we're all content. We'll have to wait and see. That first red side ban is going to be a set here. This is the good thing about Pro Draft, for example, is that we don't have to remake lobbies, remake entire in-game client drafts, because we can make all the mistakes in the Pro Draft. Yes, it makes it a little bit confusing for us guys and you guys at home, but overall streamlines the process, and we'll be looking to get all of the information to you guys and make sure that it's all as clear as possible to you as soon as we can.
Also, I really hate it when my support main, it's like Sona one trick support. It's the only champion they own in the game, and you're trying to flex picks around, and they can't pick a champion for you, so it's a little inconvenient. But Vladimir Camille going to get banned away here from the side of Omega Gaming Ice, putting some bans towards the top side of the map here, trying to deny the side of Akuma Scimitars the pressure that they have had with this Camille that we have seen in these games. I think Owen Johnson has been very, very good on the pick. He's been able to get his team some pressure in the lanes, and so they're said, nope, not anymore. You can pick a new split push champion if you would like.
Yeah, we might see them default back to the Fiora, but I don't think that's a safe blind pick. This is better. This is a safer blind pick, thank you. We see the Ornn, the Assassin, Bruiser, Melee, Tank, Mage, everything on top side of the map going to come through. Now Omega Gaming have the option, or have their pick of counter pick into the Ornn, and with Koros not having his GP band away, I'd be surprised. I would like to see him pick that up. Obviously, at the minute we don't have any AP on the ice side, so maybe they need to look to something that does a bit of magic damage. so potentially could be another cannon coming through. Anything like that. It's going to be the Scion locked in by the looks of things, and now we have to wait for them to look for them to pick up their mid laner, which is going to be a blind pick. And to me, just speaks volumes. Is just an Orianna blind pick is something that you can do so easily, and it looks like, in fact, that they're hovering the Corki. This is going to be just hovered, so we can't talk about hovers tremendously, but with the Scion getting locked in with it as well, it's very likely, and Corki dealing magic damage for 80% of it, they are going to lock it in, which means that they have a lot of auto attack damage here for Omega Gaming, which makes itemizing your boots very straightforward. You just get yourself some ninja tabbies if you're the Akuma Scimitars here, and you will be having a nice time. And now a choice of counter pick for Akuma in the mid lane. They are going to go for this Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe getting locked up here. She's one of those control. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say control mages, but she's one of those mages that we see in the mid lane that relies heavily on vision control in the mid to late game in order to secure themselves picks, which kind of generate you pressure for neutral objectives and things of that nature. So, Akuma Scimitars, while they do have some late game insurance with the Ornn and the ornaments and the upgrades that will come through on those item upgrades, you're going to want to have a strong early game, just as they had in game number 1. To be able to get this Rek'Sai control of the jungle, to be able to put down deep wards, deep vision, which will be able to secure them, just a strategical advantage across the game.
Yeah, we're just looking to see which team takes that early game advantage again, because game 1 and game 2 were both decided by, not by this exclusively, but whichever team got first Drake won the game. And now, granted, it wasn't because of the first Drake that they snowballed out of control and won the game, but we have to notice these trends that in game 1 and game 2, the teams took early Drake, they then rotated their bot lane up to top side, got the top lane turret, and completed all of these steps, essentially playing out how to win a game of League of Legends 101 using neutral objectives. These neutrals have been so important to both of these teams in their wins. I have to see which team is able to come out on top, use the neutrals to their advantage, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day here, it's going to be interesting to see how they do end up putting these compositions together. The Lulu in the bottom side of the map here with the Varus. The Scion as well. They have some team fighting potential. They have a lot of poke coming from this Varus and this Corki. It's going to be interesting to see how they do end up playing this into. I think that if we see Ocean Dragon on this map, that is going to be highly contested for either one of these teams, regardless of whether or not it is a Soul Dragon or not, simply based on the fact that this Omega Gaming Ice squad really is going to be relying a lot on that poke to be able to whittle down the side of Akuma Scimitars to be able to get themselves those advantages they need in those team fights.
Yeah, exactly right. And just a quick shout out to Upsedge Esports. Thank you for the raid, the host of 21 people. I appreciate you guys coming here. We're currently 1-1 in our series between Omega Gaming Ice and the Akuma Scimitars in the lower bracket here. 1-1. Both of the teams had really convincing victories on the blue side. So we're just seeing now which team can take it. We've got our strong comp coming out on both sides here. We've got ornaments in the late game that Idea has already touched on. Strong team fight, AD carries for Ice. Let's see how we can see how these teams play it out now.
Absolutely, with the rest of the bands coming on through. It's I don't know, it's going to be kind of interesting. Both of these teams in each of these games have drafted themselves some early game junglers that want to be able to get themselves an advantage for these solo laners early on. And for the third game in the row, we're going to see which of these teams can execute on that idea the best. Again, for those who are joining us, I'm the Idea PC, joined by Rude Dude here on the casting desk for this Omega Gaming Esports broadcast of the Upsurge Minor Leagues playoff bracket, loser bracket, between Omega Gaming Ice and Akuma Scimitars. We will go to a short intermission here as we get ready to load out onto Summoner's Rift. Do not go anywhere. Do not change that browser. We will be right back after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this Upsurge Minor League broadcast on the Omega Gaming Esports channel, as we have Omega Gaming Ice here and Akuma Scimitars in game number 3 of this best of 3 series in the losers bracket of the UML playoffs, getting ready to face off to see who will be going on over to round 4, who I believe, if I am correct, will be up against Honeyfruit Gaming in that matchup. So both of those, Honeyfruit, one of the teams that was in the Ocean Division with Omega Gaming Ice, will be playing against the winner of this match. Omega Gaming Ice, obviously having been in that division, might end up seeing some familiar faces if they are able to pull out the win here in game number 3. And Akuma Scimitars, if they do win here today, will continue to make their dark horse run through the lower bracket.
Yeah, so it was actually Honeyfruit Gaming didn't actually take the win. It was 2-0 to Gothboy Cleek, who were hand the Ocean Division their first casualty of this UML tournament. But not to worry, because we've got these guys coming through once again. Going to be seeing if Ice can make their road all the way through the lower bracket right now. See if they can make it to the next round of the lower bracket, because they've been in this lower bracket since the beginning and continuing to keep their momentum going. Dropping the game number 2 here might put them at a little bit of a mental disadvantage, but we've spoken to these guys that these have got the mental fortitude to play it out. And Koros on this Scion is a new look that we've not seen from him particularly, and we talked about it, that he likes to play these carry style top laners. And yes, Scion can be great at engaging, but doesn't have the carry potential that a Kennen or a Gangplank or something like that does have.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how that one will turn out for us ultimately here today. But the Scion-Ornn matchup, I think, is definitely interesting. We do not see a whole lot of Scion in professional or amateur play, so getting to see that here today is a little bit of a treat for us in general. Other than that, fairly standard picks across the board here. Lulu paired up with Waffle Wheel down here on the bottom side will give him a little more security with the wild growth that can come out from time to time. But level 2 here, going to go on over to the side of Akuma. And overall, I mean, I really think that if you are the side of Omega Gaming Ice for this matchup, you are wanting to make sure that you have the early game that you had in game number 1. You need it here, especially when you're up against the late game scaling potential of the Ornn, of the Sivir. And, obviously Zoe is a dominant force and threat to deal with when you're looking at the mid to late game as well.
Yeah, exactly. And really happy to see sort of top side trades going the way of Koros. Looking like we're sort of lacking a little bit in the CS department from both of these top laners. Two waves going in, and a little bit has been missed here and there, but that's not to worry, because they have been trading heavily back and forth. And if you're establishing the health advantage, then your laner not likely going to be able to pick up as much CS as he would otherwise be able to. And this corrupting potion start for Koros is giving him a lot more utility, as Minimilk might get caught.
The flash is going to come on through, and First Blood going to go right on over here to Waffle Wheel. Colossal Chungus in a little bit of danger here now, but Hyde Haro looking for the flash is finding the knock-up onto Banjito, looking for the damage onto Waffle Wheel now. The last auto will fall. Colossal Chungus able to pick that one up. Now Supermark in a little bit of danger here. A good return engage here from the side of Akuma Scimitars, able to wrap that one up and make it a 1-1 trade.
TP back from Waffle.
Coming in from Waffle Wheel, looking for something, has the speed up. Oh, but a nice spell shield from Chungus is going to mean that he gets himself away with his life. The fadeaway not going to quite make its mark.
Yeah, okay, that feels really bad for Waffle, because he commits the TP, which he probably would have done anyway. But Zoe's down bot side right now, maybe looking to pick up a little bit extra onto the Banjito here. It looks like it's just going to be a disengage. So overall, 1-for-1 trade on the map. And a little bit of an advantage to Corki in the mid lane here. Toucan Sam gets himself a little bit more farm freely than he was doing in the mid lane, but he might get collapsed on by the roam from Karma. Have to see.
Yeah, taking a look here now, though, in the mid lane. Toucan Sam going to have to back away there. Not going to quite find it. Cyan, though, going to get knocked up here. And just these two meatballs kind of banging it around. Rude dude, just kind of knocking it out, picking up their grasp procs here. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, just, getting their HP built up so that they can be uber tanky in the later stages. I feel like there was a slight miscommunication from Ice there, because Toucan Sam he flashed preemptively expecting the Rek'Sai flash Obviously, Rek'Sai used his flash bot lane, so Toucan didn't really need to flash down there, or flash in that mid lane, rather, but, you know, better safe than sorry, I suppose. He stays alive, doesn't fall, and he's now just taking a sleep in the mid lane. Gatling Gun is going to make it so that he trades pretty evenly, but then the paddle star through after sways it back into the form of a one trade for Ica. And importantly right here is that Toucan Sam's actually managed to get himself a recall through early on, picked himself up a tier and teleported back into mid lane whilst Ica had roamed down bot lane and not picked up any recalls yet. So he's got a little bit of an advantage just in terms of the scaling will be coming through a little bit earlier for him.
Yep. And Ica here looking to get a little bit aggressive onto 2Cam San. Will not be able to find anything though. And you know, I mean, it's been a fairly even game here so far to start it off. Both these teams just kind of farming up the gold even here now. Supermark though looking to make his mark on the map. Mini Mark here gonna get slowed down. The damage coming on through. The root will not be enough, and Waffle Wheel finds himself a piercing arrow to drop down the support of Akuma Scimitars. And a crucial assist going on over to Supermark here, trying to get himself some of that early gold. And you know, we talked about it. First dragon, first win. I don't know, who knows? But first dragon will be going on over to the side of Omega Gaming Ice, picking themselves up some early resistances.
Oh.
Could be viable here, but now Colossal Chungus gonna find himself a little too far forward here. Waffle Wheel though, does he have the damage to be able to put him down? The auto's just gonna come through. Easy pickup here for Waffle Wheel in the bottom lane, and Chungus overstepping a little bit too far now. Koros gonna go ahead and throw his ultimate up towards the top side of the map as the unstoppable onslaught will put him just short of the minions there.
Yeah.
But good early game pressure coming out here from the side of Omega Gaming Ice to be able to secure themselves the first neutral.
Yeah, it really is.
The swap actually coming through.
Yeah, 3 kills the way of Waffle Wheel. All 3 of, or everything, in fact, this game has been Waffle Wheel. He is the one death on his team. He's also, flash mid.
Yep, it's gonna come through here. The Valkyrie. Oh man, Zoe is a scary champion. A lot of damage coming down there onto Toucan Sam. It's gotta feel bad. I mean, Zoe is just one of those champions that can really punish you if you do find yourself stepping out, and not even punish you, but also the kind of champion that can make plays all on her own right. Rek'Sai and Zoe now pathing up towards the top side of the map, looking through the river here. You have to be careful. If you're Waffle Wheel, you do not want to give away the shutdown gold. You should back up. And there it is. The Call of Forge God going to get called up in here. Bandito in trouble, and that's going to be the kill. Surely going on over. Yep, Elvin Johnson able to pick that one up. The support will fall here. A Queen's Wrath going to come out here. Hyde Haro finding himself a little out of position and out of place here. Supermark here able to pick that one up is Waffle Wheel as he goes on a killing spree now 4-1-0. And so the turret dive not successful. Able to go 1 for 1 is not a measure of success in my playbook. And if you are the side of Akuma Scimitars, this one feels really, really bad.
Yeah, they get themselves 1 kill onto the Lulu. They do burn both of her summoners, but ultimately committing 3 people to the top side and still losing a member with all of the summoners burned, all the ultimates burned, etc. like that. Feels like the dive didn't need to come through onto Waffle Wheel. Just take the kill on Banjito and be happy. With that, it's not just a kill, remember. It's another... going to be, looks like the Herald coming through now for Omega Gaming Ice, which is what we've seen be so pivotal in these games to break first, brick turret, and secure early game leads, which has been the story of this series so far.
Yeah, both teams have pretty much done the same exact thing to their opponents in Game 1 and Game 2 that we are now seeing here in Game number 3. And the last time, you know, it was... Akuma Scimitars being able to get themselves first Dragon, first Herald, be able to push down the towers, get yourself that early gold injection, and both these teams play such a quiet kind of standard of League of Legends that they are able to just kind of pick up these objectives slowly but surely off the backs of, you know, just a single pick, that it does kind of allow them to snowball their advantage into the mid to late game.
Yeah, and I want to quickly point out that in that top lane dive, Supermark intentionally left the kill for Waffle Wheel, so Isa being very cognizant of the fact that they are funneling Waffle in this particular instance. This Varus already built up the Blade of the Ruin King compared to the Caulfield's Warhammer, really isn't a comparison early on. So let's see, we need to see Ice continue to play through Waffle, who has the advantage. You know, look across the rest of the map, it's not really any item discrepancies anywhere else. It's this Blade of the Ruin King compared to the Caulfield's more than anything else.
Yeah, Oven Johnson and Coro's gonna flow. Oh man, there it is. Unstoppable onslaught, gonna force out the flash from Oven Johnson, and Call the Forge guy gonna flash out gonna force out Coro's flash as well. So both of the top laners there expending ults, looking for the 1v1 kills and outplaying it with their summoner spell flashes respectively here. But I mean, we've seen it time and time again, Rude Dude, where Waffle Wheel has been able to 1v9 games on his picks before. Definitely can do so here on the Varus. So I'm excited to see that OGI knows and they have a plan of what they want to do, what they want their win condition to be, and they have decided that it's going to be the young talent of Waffle Wheel himself.
Yeah, and especially with the Lulu pickup as well. Different look for Banjito in this game number 3 rather. Not on the Nautilus, not on a Thresh style pick. Gonna be really funneling his utility, all of his resources into Bandito. Probably picking himself up the Ardent Sensor soon. Gonna be enabling him to an auto attack even more, get a little bit more on hit life back, and even really early to start taking Krugs away from your jungler. But I'm sure that Supermark is more than happy. We've seen him sacrifice a kill on the top side, probably happy to sacrifice the the golems as well. And in times gone by when we've seen him pick the Kindred, pick to play for the team, Supermark knows his role in a composition, and he's not scared to sacrifice a couple camps here and there if he knows it's going to be for the greater good.
Absolutely, and Rudid, the mark of a longtime League of Legends player when you call Krugs golems and when you call Raptors wraiths. You call red side, purple side. Yeah, and when Baron Nashor looked like a finger, you remember that?
Yeah, the
Looked like a
the good old days. Give me DFG.
all right. But Infernal Dragon here, going to be the next dragon. Koros gonna find a drowsy bubble there. Sleepy Trouble bubble gonna land, but no follow-up with the Paddle Star means he's going to stay relatively healthy here. Is the tank either way. And they have complete control of the river here. Teleport actually is available on Oven Johnson. Has one available on the bottom side of the river here, but that's going to be just a quick turn and burn from the side of OGI, picking themselves up another neutral objective here. The wall going to be put around Waffle Wheel here, but a nice flash coming out from Hyde Harrow is able to get the kill down onto Waffle Wheel as he shuts him down. Colossal still has not fallen now. Hyde Harrow on the back line is getting cated out here, but the health bars from the side of OGI a little bit too low. Econ, though, stepping too far forward, finds himself dead to Koros in his passive there. Able to pick that one up, and that is huge for the side of Omega Gaming Ice. It looked like that fight might have been going terribly, terribly, terribly wrong for them. But they were actually able to even it back out. 2 kills to 2 kills. Granted, you did give the shutdown gold on over to this Rek'Sai, which will help her deal with kind of the rough early game that she has had. But you do take yourself the Infernal Dragon, which puts you one step closer to that win condition of Soul.
Oh, yeah.
And the pause.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see what goes on here. But just talking, about that team fight whilst we've got the time, Waffle Wheel actually stepped back onto that bubble, so it came through the wall, and everybody saw it, everybody dodged it, and then unfortunately Waffle kind of stepped back onto it, and it sort of felt like nobody on ice was expecting the engage to come through. Haro just walked in, tunneled in, and flashed on top of him. The committal was there. It was really nice to see Akuma just pull the trigger and go hard for the kill. Do you have an update on the? Oh, well,
yeah,
there we go.
It does look like we were ready to go. There was a disconnect from the mid laner there, but they were able to remedy that with the pause. And these champions and these summoners are ready to go back out onto the rift here. But I mean, you're right. You pick this Rek'Sai, I think, in part to just being able to pick out those 1 or 2 members that you're looking to assassinate. And obviously was able to do that successfully here on the Rek'Sai in that last fight. We saw how well the ensuing fight went after that. I think that Toucan Sam was able to get himself to kind of do what Waffle Wheel couldn't in that fight after he had fallen so quickly, which did give them a little bit of an advantage there. Koros obviously able to pick up the kill in his passive, I think was also, kind of another bright spot of that comp. And where it just seems like things are working out, right, for the side of Omega Gaming IS.
Yeah.
The trouble bubble we're gonna land onto Koros. It's gonna get knocked to about 50% HP. We'll just be able to walk that one back. Karma though, coming up here, has the speed up. Hyde Haru in some trouble here. Koros could be in a pretty bad position here. Does not really have any options. He's just going to fall there. Ika will be able to pick up the kill. Supermark, though, inting for the tower.
He's not going to get it.
Will get executed. As Colossal Chungus here going to find a lot of damage going right on down. Kill credit over to the Lulu as 2Cam Sands able to assist that one up. So Supermark there. Try as hard as you may. Unfortunately, not able to get the tower. That was pretty troll. I'm not gonna lie. That is
what is it with junglers and
junglers these days. Yeah.
we had a clip in a one of those sign-ups Sin of Fun of Legends, one of those things where one of the in the alpha games, Volibear tried to take the turret and actually succeeded, but did fall for it. But twice now that we've seen junglers sacrificing themselves for the mid-tier 1. Deja vu all over again for me, but looks like Ice are going to get themselves the bot lane tier 1 here, and Toucan Sam's really just going to be able to walk up and blow on this mid lane tier 1 as well.
There's a slight a gust of wind blowing its way on by mid lane means that they've picked themselves up 2 now. Boomerang, though, going to land out here, but the Corrupting Chain's going to land, and that's the kill. Waffle Wheel picking it 1 up. That will move the kill score to 5 and 8 in favor of OGI here. Sleepy Trouble Bubble not going to quite land as the Valkyrie is able to get him to safety there. Toucan Sam going to walk that one right on back.
Yeah, really, game going in the way of Ice right now. Excuse me, we have 1 minute 30 on the upcoming Cloud Dragon, and Cloud Soul doesn't have the same oomph that an Infernal doesn't have the same power of a win condition that the Infernal did in game number 2 that we saw so handily for Akuma. But a fight on the top maybe. Looks like Haru's just going to come and clear the wave. Yeah. Zoe is roaming.
Yeah, waiting in the wings here, looking for the bubble. Looking for the bubble, will be able to land it there, but the Unstoppable Onslaught going to find its mark, and Rek'Sai gets taken for a little bit of a trip down top lane.
That's my favorite.
Wow, we do have our good old Herald on the map available here. We do see the rotation coming in here. They're going to pick up the Scuttle Crab, get themselves some vision of the pit. And this is kind of exactly what we saw from OGI in game number 1. They kind of slowly and handedly were able to get themselves quite a bit of a gold lead pre 17 minutes in the game in game number 1. And we're kind of seeing that here again in game number 2. They have managed to get themselves a good lead. Toucan Sam, though, going to be able to flash the Oran Horn, and there it is, able to pick himself up the kill in the mid lane in the 1v1. That is very, very good for their pressure on the map. And now the option, if you're Akuma Scimitars, is fight for the Herald or go answer the Corki in the bot lane. So either way, it is a win for OGI. They either get pressure and the Herald, or in this case, they may just get the Herald and pressure. So, Akuma Scimitar is not really opting to do something about this. Corki just able to push that entire 2.5 waves into the bottom lane tower is a lot of lost experience and gold for the side of Akuma Scimitars. With Dragon now spawning and Corki having recalled back out on the map, he's completed his Trinity Force. He's completed the Manamune. He has his Sork shoes. He is very, very strong at 17.5 minutes.
Yeah, and this is a testament to Toucan on this court, just in general, really, because he's not really had any resources funneled into him. He's had to fight for the scraps he's got. Yes, he's been able to farm up extremely well in the mid lane and rotating down to bot side, but he's getting these kills all off of his own back or off of team fights where he's been able to pick up the kills that Waffle's just not been able to.
Oh, Waffle Wheel.
Another Drowsy and the Flash. Oh, reciprocated though, so, although I'll take a Flash on taking Flash from the Varus. In my opinion, is more valuable to Akuma Scimitars than it is losing the Flash on the Zoe, just because of the ease she has finding other ones.
Yep, the pressure and threat is palpable here, and this is the exact same play that we saw in game number 1 here. Omega Gaming Ice running it down the mid lane here, able to pick themselves up these towers, able to pick themselves up maybe the inhibitor if they do decide for it here, but Waffle Wheel finding the bubble there. It's going to slow down the push a little bit here. The rest of Akuma Scimitars looking to kind of kite it back, looking for the bubble, looking for the battle stars, and looking for the karma damage to come through before they engage. It's just going to be a recall here from the side of Omega Gaming Ice. And you know what? At the end of the day here, I think that if you are Omega Gaming Ice, you're taking these fights. You're sitting here now, 5 turrets to 0. You've got a lot of freestanding gold on the map picked up in your favor. And they can continue to kind of put this kind of pressure on Akuma Scimitars. They should be able to wrap this one up.
Yeah, they've got themselves a 6,000 gold lead. And remember, guys, that this is losers bracket best of 3, and the team's tied 1-1 at the minute. Whoever loses here goes home and ends their run in the UML. This is do or die for both of these sides right here. So, both of them really fighting with their lives to try and keep themselves in this tournament. Ice coming up big in game number 3 here. to start off with. We'll have to see if they can close it out, though.
Hey, I mean, it is kind of exciting, I have to say. This is my first time casting. I should say this season is my first time casting for any of the teams within the UML. Getting to see Omega Gaming Ice's kind of run through the playoffs, how they were doing in the regular season, and seeing all of these games kind of progress and this team progress through these series has been pretty exciting, I'd have to say. But overall here, going to go in, pick themselves up an easy red buff. Boomerang going to come out there from the Sivir. Going to knock Banjito down to about 200 HP. Has to be careful. This could really kind of impact their ability to do an immediate Baron, which it looked like is what they were setting themselves up for with Sion, with Sion with the teleport up towards the top side of the map. Owen Johnson, though, having the advantage in levels here. Ooh, able to cancel Koros' Q there. That's actually really nifty. I like that.
Little brittle procs knockback do interrupt the channeling ability of Sion, so I'm not seeing it too much in this game just because typically Koros has been able to find the knock-up before Owen Johnson was able to get in range, but when he's using the Searing Charge to get up close and personal, that doesn't particularly apply. And we're getting to the point now where this Cloud Soul is going to become crucial and important because it is going to be the soul going the way of Ice if they pick up the Drake. Looking at it, as you talked about before, we've reached more power spikes on the carries for Omega Gaming. We've got Mura Mana now completed for Corki. Not just the Mana Mune, has it upgraded as well. Hasn't managed to pick up anything particularly since. Got himself a stopwatch, so he's going to be able to keep himself safe in the fights. But importantly here, Waffle Wheel now has the Gwinsu's Rage Blade picked up for himself. So every third auto attack is going to be mirrored by a spectral form of himself, dealing double or hitting twice, and he's going to pick himself up this red buff here just to keep himself extra dangerous in these team fights that are going to be coming through.
Absolutely. You see the pressure now being applied by Toucan Sam towards the bottom side of the map against the Ornn. He does have the ability to kind of poke the Ornn down a little bit here. Has yet to complete the Abyssal Mask, but bubble there on to Banjito will get zoned away by the rest of the Omega Gaming Ice Squad, and they're going to start up the Baron and Asher here at 21 minutes and 40 seconds. Looking for the damage. You see Sion there, able to effectively zone the rest of his team out. Toucan Sam still with teleport available. Also has Owen Johnson with his teleport available too, but I do not think that they are going to contest this. They know that it is going on. Yeah, it's just, this is exactly what we saw in game number 1, Rude. It was a slow grind. It was a slow push. There was not a whole lot of action except for around major objectives. And, Akuma Scimitars, they just have not been able to contest the power of this Omega Gaming Ice Squadron. And eventually you just give up so many of these neutral objectives, so many of these temporary buffs that turn into permanent buffs. Then you have to start asking the question of, okay, well, when is the time that we do fight? When are we going to actually take these engages? Because if you just continue to let Omega Gaming Ice run the floor with you on these neutral objectives, you're pretty much accepting defeat.
Yeah, it's exactly what we saw in game number 2. Is that perfect example of it. That Ice gave up all the objectives, and granted they tried to fight for the Cloud Soul or for the Infernal Soul, and they tried to fight for the Super or for the Elder Drake, but they just weren't able to. And it looks like here that Akuma Scimitars just do not care about this Cloud Soul. It's just going to go straight over to Omega Gaming here. And Toucan Sam may have caught out.
Toucan Sam with the Valkyrie now, able to find the damage. There it is. The one last auto will find its mark past the flash there. Toucan Sam picking it right up off the back. And this is huge now, Rude Dude. They have the Baron buff. They have this Cloud Soul. They have the ability to be able to spread Akuma Scimitars very, very widely here. Akuma Scimitars here, they have to act quickly. They have to act fast. They have to be able to find the engage either onto the Scion or onto this bottom part of the map to be able to get themselves a kill. If they do not, then their towers were just going to be sieged down by this poke composition from the side of Omega Gaming Ice. They have to press the button. They have to either say, hey, you know what, our bottom side of the map is going to fall, and let's take on this Scion, let's take him out, let's make him a non-threat until we can get our Ornn back up into the fight. But they're just losing their objectives here on the map. The inhibitor down here in the mid lane in some danger now, about half HP towards the bottom side of the map. This turret going to fall here on this push, and possibly this inhibitor as well. Call of Forge God, though, going to get called out. Sion now with the Unstoppable Onslaught onto the back line. That's going to be huge. Damble coming down a Waffle Wheel here, able to pick himself up the double here so far. The kills going through. And ladies and gentlemen, here in game number 3, Omega Gaming Ice, from start to finish, dominating the neutral objectives, dominating the map. they're going to go and ace the side of Akuma Scimitars, and they're moving on to round 4 of the losers bracket in the UML.
Yep, that is going to be it here, guys. Well played to Omega Gaming Ice. They had us in the game 2 where Akuma Scimitars looked like they could maybe make a series out of this, and they brought us to game number 3. But Ice, in the end, they take the game, they take the series. That is going to be all that she wrote for the series, and Akuma Scimitars find their way down, unfortunately out of the UML now. But that means Ice now go through. They continue their run through this lower bracket.
Yeah, you really do have to hand it for them. So great. I mean, they've just done a fantastic job being able to push themselves to find victories in these matches in the playoffs. Kind of similarly last week, we saw that series between Omega Gaming Ice and Ignitus Esports, ended up putting them in a position where they were in a one-on-one series and able to win out game number 3 against the second seed, which I believe Ignitus was from the Mountain Division. So they've done themselves well, once again here. Being able to push it out with the 2-1 victory is Omega Gaming Ice. They will be facing Honey Fruit Gaming, actually. There,
I just realized, it just clicked that because Honey Fruit lost, that they'd be in lower bracket. It only just clicked to me right now, and I realized I tried to correct you earlier, and I apologize because I've made myself look very silly here. But yeah, you are exactly right that because Honey Fruit lost in the upper bracket means they drop down to the lower and face Ice. So, that's entirely on me. Idea clearly knows what he's talking about. The color caster getting out analyzed by the play-by-play will take it though. Just shows the knowledge of this guy that I'm on the desk with. Shows his experience as well.
Far too kind, you're far too kind. But, ladies and gentlemen, in an exciting game number 3 here, Omega Gaming Ice moving on to the lower round 4, which means that they are only, I believe, 1, 2, 3 games from a finals here in the UML. So very, very exciting to see this kind of coming through. There are currently, as of right now, only 6 teams left in this this matchup, actually, if I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, 6 teams left in the Upsurge minor leagues here. Omega Gaming Ice is not the only 3 or 4 seed to have that distinction, actually. Striking Vipers High Table also moving to the round 4 of the lower bracket here. They will face off against World Class Galaxy, the number 2 seed, which lost their match against Wolfpack Vengeance. So up in the upper bracket finals, we will see Gothboy Click and Wolfpack Vengeance. Yes, Wolfpack Vengeance putting themselves in a match which will get them to the grand finals best of 5 series. So do not miss that one out on the Upsurge channel. And again, Omega Gaming Ice will be up against Honey Fruit Gaming on the 31st of July here at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you can catch that here at Omega Gaming Esports Twitch channel. And I know that'll probably be another cast with myself and Rude Dude on the desk.
Yeah, definitely will be. Just again, can't emphasize enough the skill level of the Ocean Division in this particular one. We've still got all 4 teams from Ocean Division here. That means that two of the divisions just have lost all 4 of their teams, whilst Ocean still has all 4. And we talked about it in the first week of the lower round that Ice were a formidable 3rd seed, and they've outlasted so many now 1st and 2nd seeds that just goes to back us up, really, doesn't it? Just shows how strong they were.
Absolutely. And, just taking a look at some of those games overall, it was actually really, really surprising when I was taking a look at some of the statistics from not this week, but last week. Every single number 1 and 2 seed that lost in the upper bracket also lost in the lower round too, in a lower bracket as well. So there were a lot of teams that maybe were expected to be, finals or semifinals or quarterfinals types teams that just never ended up making it. And so, we get to see Omega Gaming Ice, who's been a very, very strong 3rd seed. We get to see Striking Vipers High Table, who is actually the 4th seed that came out of their division, continue to kind of make these runs. And so it does kind of give people a little bit something to root for. Looking for the underdogs to come out on top. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we will catch you next week as Omega Gaming Ice faces off against Honeyfruit Gaming. We'll see if they can continue their impressive run throughout the lower bracket and if they can repeat a victory in the UML to be champions once again. So with all that being said, thank you Upsurge for the raid. Very, very much appreciated. To all the viewers there at home, I hope you are all having a wonderful weekend and a wonderful night. I'm the Idea PC, joined by Rude Dude here on the casting desk. Catch us next week, and we will see you later, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.